Oh, no way.
So yeah, I always remember that story.
What a beautiful and inspirational story coming out of something so stressful.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the first time I just kind of went, oh, maybe there's something in this.
Okay, excellent. So, do you want to be like well, as they say, what is the question? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm trying to get a proper job at the moment to get some money in. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. As an author?
Yeah, but a normal one. But in the meantime, I'm keeping this all going because I'm like, well, if I'm talking to you, I think something like that.
Oh, you absolutely are. And let me tell you, your strategy is really great. I see you all over Twitter just doing exactly what you're doing. I call it ambush podcasting. Basically, you just go to someone's reply, say, hey, I've got a podcast. Would you like to be on it? And then you see who connects with you, right?
Yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get. But you don't want to hard sell this. So a nice little polite message and things is usually can be okay.
I agree with you, and I think that the way that you've done it has been very polite. Okay, excellent. All right, so let's try this if you don't mind. Go to the link that I sent you, and basically the video that I started like 12 minutes ago. So if anything, you would just when you download it on your end, you just cut it at 12 minutes in. But we're going to formally start. So no pressure. We'll get it all arranged. And I appreciate your openness to do this. I think it can be mutually beneficial. I'm doing another podcast later today, one in Australia. I've been doing the podcast circuit. I did one last week with the same person in Australia. And I'm a futurist, so I like to talk about the future. So perhaps some of our discussions.
I know my Ray Kurzweil.
You know who?
My Ray Kurzweil.
Your maker as well?
Ray Kurzweil.
Oh, you know Ray Kurzweil. Oh, excellent. Very well.
I know about him. He did Singularity.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. Yes.
Okay, so this link didn't let me use the camera, so let me just try one more time.
Okay. Do you have Discord?
No, start using camera. It says camera access not wanted. You're backstage, so you may add you to the podcast anytime you're ready.
Absolutely. Okay, so I can do that once I potentially see you as a guest. Oh, okay, I see you. Just one moment. So I think that are you on your phone doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why you don't have access is because you are using your camera right now to talk with me. So we're gonna not quite yet. Okay, and we're gonna bring you in, and I don't know exactly. I guess. Just bear with me as I try to figure this out myself. We'll get it though, as they say. I'm gonna close. Okay. Okay. I brought you in. Can you see yourself on the screen?
I saw a flash. I can see my name.
Okay. You can see your name.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see you.
Okay, I can see you.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. I will.
This other conversation.
Yeah, we'll leave this one. But if anything, keep the phone close in case we have to go back and reconnect or something. Okay.
I'm leaving the red stream.
Oh, no, 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 no. Stay in the restream. No, stay in the
Yeah.
restream.
Okay,
You're
I'm leaving the Zoom one.
okay. Excellent. And I'll see you in restream.
Okay, cool, done. Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me or hear me? Louis? Okay, now I can hear you. Louis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, your camera is reversed, so
Okay.
the the people of the world can see. You're
Fair enough, right?
absolutely okay. So let me just get situated a little bit. Okay. All right. Let me just for our Zoom call, I'm going to end the meeting here. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right. So before we start, if there's anything you need or whatever, you let me know, and you'll be able to just take the um, the raw file and edit it in any way you want. Before we start, let me just check to make sure that we're recording. That's always a good thing to check. I should say.
I can't see you. Is that normal?
Oh no, you should be able to see me.
Oh, I can't. I can see myself.
Okay. Are you on a computer?
No.
Okay, you're on a phone. I want it so that you can see me. So,
I can see discord.me/Rabbi.
yes, click that little. Is there like a little slider?
No. Oh, hang on.
Okay, you just turned yours off.
Yeah. Back on now.
Okay, is there one by my name?
No.
Okay. Um, yeah, I want you to be able to, of course, see me as well. So, we'll figure this out. If you would, you're on a browser?
Safari.
Okay, yeah, browser. All right. Um, okay, I will. I'll try with a different. I'll do what you're doing, so I'll be like an extra guest, and I will see. I'll see what you're seeing.
Very good. I am just trying this to Native American.
just bear with me. It says setting up the stage for you, accessing your camera.
Okay.
I guess I might have dual cameras. That's fine. Okay, join us. So you press the thing that says join as a guest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Apologies if we're getting um, feedback. Just a moment. Let's see how we could turn this off. Well, isn't this not cool? Okay. So now I'm kind of getting to see what you're seeing. I think I see Rabbi 2 backstage. Okay, so I have to accept myself uh, as a just like you. And then I'm gonna have a chance to see what you're seeing, and we will get this worked out. Okay, so you see me now?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. That's right. Okay. So I'm going to leave with this other device. If I may ask, does one of them say discord.me/rabbi and the other says rabbi 2? Okay. But they have different names. One of them says discord.me/rabbi and the other says rabbi 2. Okay, excellent. Yeah, it's live on YouTube right now. Okay. Um, can you still see me? Okay, excellent. So you can see me now. And with that being said, you want to? Oh, it's beautiful. Palatial, my friend. Okay, so would you like to start?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you get comfortable and then you introduce this like it's one of your podcasts because it certainly will be. And before we start, let's just say if there's anything you get interrupted or anything, you want anything cut out, you have my permission to cut it out, and I would like the same. Um, if it and but yeah, all my stuff is live and I'm raw all the time on my footage, so shouldn't have an issue with that. Okay, and then let me.
So, please welcome. This is episode 13 of No Hot Ashes. My guest today is Rabbi Rothschild from California.
That's right. It's a pleasure to be with you today, Louis.
Yeah, you too. So, as my guest, would you like to tell me a little bit about this project of yours?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm Rabbi Rothschild. It's a privilege to be here and a privilege to have your audience here today. I stream my life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for world peace. I've been doing so for more than 4 years. My streams go back to the pandemic. We've seen the death of a queen, the birth of AI, the coronation of a king, and everything in between. This is a real life Truman Show, a real life Big Brother. This is a timeline and a time capsule of human achievement. In the 1990s, the phrase content is king was coined, and I'm making it true today. I'm, in my own way, king of the internet. I have archived more data than any person in global history, and that's important because in 2017, The Economist magazine stated that data had overtaken petroleum as Earth's number one resource, which may make me a very influential person someday. If and when that happens, I'd like to make you, your friends, your family, your audience, all financially independent if they're not already. I'd like to ensure that they have generational wealth if they don't already. And I'd like them to be able to start charities and philanthropic organizations of their own.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, because I know I've heard a couple of things about the are you an Ashkenazi?
I am.
Yeah, so you got more Nobel Prizes per capita than any other community in the world.
That's correct.
Is it Alfred Nobel? More Jewish people were involved in the creation of the Manhattan Project.
That's true. Oppenheimer, Edward Teller, and such, yeah.
And they were, a lot of them were wrongly accused of being affiliated with the Communist Party.
Many.
And also, I believe it's also been said there's some people who are pro-Semites, and I know, for example, Christopher Hitchens had a sort of instinct that he had a kinship with the Jewish people, and then it was only after his very late in his life he discovered his mother was Jewish. And I remember a conversation with Martin Amis and Christopher Hitchens. Martin.
I can't hear you as well. Did you cover the microphone? I can't hear you. Can you perhaps repeat that? Are you covering the microphone?
I think so.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Maybe it's just a signal part. Okay. No, it was just a little story about Kingsley Amis, father of Martin. And apparently he just used to say the word yid and Martin didn't like it.
It happens.
Yeah.
I do my best to have an open mind to people of all backgrounds. And I personally am a futurist. I like to talk about things about the future. More things that unite us, less that divides us. Do you mind if I mention some of the topics that I enjoy addressing?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you. So, aside from making everyone in the audience perhaps wealthier than they could have ever imagined based on data, I want to help the world. And through the platform that this stream offers me. I'm not live on just one YouTube stream nor two YouTube streams. I'm live at any given time on more than 20 different YouTube streams. You can watch my life in 360 degrees. I even have a ceiling camera. You can watch my life 365 days of the year. I have been doing this for more than 4 years. So back to the pandemic, we've seen the death of a queen, the birth of AI, the coronation of a king, and everything in between. It's essentially a timeline and a time capsule of human achievement. And with the platform this gives me, I'd like to advocate for ending world hunger through the use of technology such as agricultural drones, floating greenhouses, saltwater greenhouses. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, we're back. Excellent. So I'd like to advocate for ending world hunger through the use of technology such as agricultural drones, floating greenhouses, saltwater greenhouses, hydroponics, vertical farming, cloud seeding. I'd like to help end world thirst. I'm sponsored by a cryptocurrency. It's actually the one that I'm wearing the merchandise right now. It's called Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. The ticker's Bitcoin. It's a cryptocurrency that's worth tens of millions of dollars. And one of the things that the community does is build wells and water towers in developing nations for the benefit of the less fortunate. Specifically, we've built water towers in rural villages in Nigeria. I'd like to keep those types of excellent advocacy and programs going in a larger way. Additionally, I'm an advocate for the LifeStar program, but most importantly, desalination technology, where we pump earth seawater onto land to make it drinkable. Additionally, I talked about things from a futurist perspective, things like perhaps anti-gravity, antimatter, faster than light travel, faster than light communication, space elevators, space tourism, terraforming of other planets, perhaps one day interstellar travel. I like to talk about mega projects, a Bering Strait tunnel, perhaps, bridging the Darien Gap, pardon me, perhaps expanding the channel, the English Channel, so that more traffic can make the journey. I want to be someone who is seen by the world as a big idea individual. I know I can't accomplish all of these goals myself, but they're things that I find interesting. I talk about things like artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, artificial super intelligence. I, in my own way, am perhaps the world's leading trailblazer in some cutting edge types of technology. One is known as CHDI, it's continuous human data infrastructure. Another is CHAD, which is continuous human activity data. Essentially, the idea of being able to watch an individual for long periods of time and learn about aging, behavior, eating habits, sleeping habits, every aspect of the human body. And I think it's a really exciting project for people to be able to not just observe what I do, but also hear the conversations that I have with people just like you every single day and how we can better the earth.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because so you seem to know a little bit about your your comedy shows and things. So do you remember Dr. Michio Kaku?
Yeah, absolutely.
Science of Star Trek.
Yes.
Did you ever see that show?
Science of Star Trek?
Yeah.
I've seen him in documentaries and such, specifically the universe. I've heard his interviews.
The reason I got in touch with Dr. Steve is that they famously didn't get on the Opie Anthony show. So that's the only reason I mentioned him.
Very interesting. Well, these are many of the.
They just didn't like the way he tended to dumb things down when he was talking to them. But apart from that, no, I'm a big fan of Michio Kaku.
It depends on the audience. So if I heard you correctly, the Science of Star Trek, correct?
Yeah, it's when they were trying to make lightsabers for real and things like that.
Absolutely, and that's a lot of the technology that I discussed. Things like replicators, which is directly from Star Trek. These are also known as Santa Claus machines. For the audience out there, imagine a 3D printer that instead of using plastic, it can use any element in the periodic table to be able to create anything that you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, and I think there's a book by David Deutsch called Guns, Germs, and Steel, or maybe that's Richard Pearl or something. There's someone, the father of Daniel Pearl. I think that's Richard Pearl. You know, the guy who was beheaded.
Yes, absolutely, the New York Times reporter, and I'm familiar with that book.
Is it Guns, Germs, and Steel?
Yes, if you're discussing the exploration of Western colonizers in the New World.
Yeah, and like physics and the limits of physics, but I think one of these guys just said technically, if we crack physics, anything is possible.
That's absolutely correct.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. That's absolutely right, Louis. And I'm an advocate of that. I feel like there are people out there who may say that much of what I discuss seems like science fiction. I mean, many of these ideas have been discussed in science fiction media, but I want to help bridge the gap between science fiction and science fact. At one time, when people would talk about brain-computer interfaces, that seemed like far-off technology. But at the beginning of this decade, we had the first successful brain-computer interface, Neuralink, in a gentleman known as Nolan Aspro, approximation on his pronunciation of his name. He's a quadriplegic man who can now play video games better than you or I can, and perhaps maybe anyone on Earth. He basically has an auto aimer in his head. And the goal is to perhaps be able to create some kind of transmitter. I think at this time it might be Bluetooth, but perhaps some other type of signal in the future to be able to bridge the gap between the separation in his spinal cavity or his spinal column, so that signals can be sent to the lower part of his body, and perhaps one day he may be able to have use of his hands again, maybe perhaps, God willing, use of his legs. That to
I mean,
me,
if they get a load of stem cells in him, that might help.
absolutely. And that type of technology 30 years ago seemed like science fiction. Brain computer interface sounded like science fiction. Something like Neuralink sounded like science fiction. We're starting to bridge those things. CRISPR technology, if you're familiar and your audience is familiar with CRISPR technology, seemed
Yeah,
like science fiction 20, 30 years
yeah.
ago.
If we could have made Oscar Pistorius have some real legs, maybe he wouldn't end up killing his wife or his girlfriend.
There may perhaps have been alternatives, certainly, that may have existed. And we are at the precipice of something really special. I like to discuss other things that are on we are on the horizon. One is known as de-extinction. I don't know if your audience is familiar, but the de-extinction, many people think this is like Jurassic Park kind of technology. We're a little ways off from that kind of technology, but essentially it is, in layman's terms, perhaps, or layperson's terms, being able to create a somewhat hybrid version of a once extinct species. So many people don't know, but the first successful de-extinction has already taken place. It took place in the year 2003 with the Pyrenean ibex, which is a goat located in northern Spain, southern France. Fast forward to the year 2021, a company out of Dallas, Texas, is founded known as Colossal Bioscientific. They've made it their goal that within the next 2 years, by the year 2028, to reintroduce the woolly mammoth into the Arctic Circle, utilizing Asian elephant surrogates, which I just think is a mind-blowing goal. Following
So
the
this is it. Yeah, sorry, just to give people a little bit of a pop culture weigh in on this one. It's the bullfrogs being used in the Jurassic Park to they ended up breeding because they mixed them with toads and is it bullfrogs in Jurassic Park that they used to fill in the gaps in the DNA?
I believe it was something like that. Additionally,
Yeah.
mosquito and
Alan Grant picks up the thing and he just tells them and he gives them a little speech about that. Yeah.
absolutely, and then some mosquito and amber related as well. This type of technology, and following the reintroduction of the woolly mammoth, scientists want to reintroduce the Tasmanian tiger, which went extinct. Perhaps the last one, I believe, in captivity was in the 1920s, followed by the dodo bird, which went extinct around the 1600s or so. I think these are fascinating topics that really we're not talking enough about, I feel, and are really exciting.
Condors are also a thing. Condors are dying, and then someone brought a couple of those back.
So the California condor, if that's what you're referencing, during the 1990s was on the verge, or around then, was on the verge of extinction, but has had quite a resurgence as well. Not specifically, to my knowledge, through de-extinction technology, but just through conservation efforts, which I'm certainly an advocate of. I feel that perhaps we did a lot of damage to the earth during the Industrial Revolution, and perhaps with many of the advancements that we've made in science and technology, we may be able to reverse some of those effects. Other things that I like to talk about that may be of interest to your audience are things like perhaps life extension technology. If most people in your audience, when they were born, the average life expectancy for them was probably about age 80, perhaps. I'd like to increase that, or give them the resources to be able to increase that and make these types of technologies more affordable. Things like oxygen therapy, hyperbaric chambers, things like perhaps. We talked earlier, stem cells, perhaps human growth hormone, cryonics, cryogenics, nootropics, peptides, cold shock therapy, ambrosia therapy, some types of
maybe sensory deprivation bar.
Uh,
awesome thing for the mind.
Absolutely, we could certainly include that. And
Sorry, tanks, sensory
Tanks, yeah,
deprivation tanks
absolutely.
is what it's called.
Sensory deprivation tanks. I don't know if you or your listeners have ever been in one. They're amazing. If you've ever had the experience, I have. They're amazing. Essentially, you float on very sa- saline based or salt based water. You almost feel
Yeah,
absolutely weightless. It's a very dark chamber. The water is tepid. It's the same temperature basically as your body, around 98.6 degrees.
it's the
And
Dead Sea. It's your own little miniaturized, personalized Dead Sea.
that's exactly right. And you can let your mind escape. It's almost, in its own way, a very meditative trance that you can almost go in because generally there is no light. You can't feel anything. You can't hear
Yes.
anything. And it's quite an amazing process. It really makes you have different feelings or different understandings of time. And also, what your body's the types of deep consciousness and deep focus your body can perhaps be in. Additionally, I talk about things like certainly cold shock therapy, ambrosia therapy, perhaps blood transfusions of your own blood, things like red light therapy, and testosterone replacement therapy for both men and women. These are all really exciting life extension
Like
technology.
HRT for women.
Yeah. But when both men and women can benefit from these types of technologies, and I want to, if possible, extend or expand the average life expectancy from age 80 to age 100, 120. But eventually, at 120 or so, many people in the audience, you as well, may say, Rabbi, back in 2026, a lot of what you discussed sounded like science fiction, but it's become
Yeah.
science fact. My body's starting to break down. What's the next plan? And this is where I feel it gets really interesting and really exciting for those of you out there who want. This is with your consent. Everything that I talk about, I feel should be with your own consent. Consent's very important to me. And so I'm an advocate of my body, my choice, and I don't feel anything should be forced upon you. But if you want, you may be able to utilize a type of technology known as mind uploading technology, where, with your consent, we scan your brain into a computer like a CAT scan or an MRI, knowing where every atom is in your central nervous system and your peripheral nervous system for later download as an android, an avatar, a cyborg, a cybernetic being, a clone of yourself, a robot, an ethereal being, whatever you want to be. But what I want
That's
you
like
to know,
there's a Johnny Depp film about that, wasn't it? When he uploaded himself to the conscious.
I believe so. Yes, and this is a common narrative within a lot of science fiction movies. But essentially, what I'm saying to you, Louis, and your audience is that you may be able to have a future of digital immortality, which is an extremely exciting opportunity. We are essentially the last generation, or maybe perhaps the first generation, that may be able to either avoid death or extend life to the point where we may be able to live indefinitely. And I just think this is a really exciting future.
A real life afterlife.
That's absolutely correct. And
Yeah.
from there, many people say, well, I don't want to live forever. And no one's forcing you to. Many people with whom I interact on a daily basis say, I want to just live my normal life and die whenever I want to die. And I feel that that should
Yes.
be allowed. I am. I want this technology to be used with people's consent. However, there are those of us, and perhaps we've been termed transhumanists, people who want to extend life, if possible, for as long as possible. And for those of us who may have the ability to do so, we would like to maybe be able to reverse age and extend our current life in whatever bodies we have for as long as
Yes.
possible. And then perhaps, if needed, might use mind uploading technology to be able to live indefinitely. And for your audience out there that may wonder what this is like, it's essentially like a save point in a video game, for lack of a better analogy, where you could essentially upload your consciousness into a computer system. And then, if anything ever happened to you, God forbid, you were in deep space exploration or whatever, we'd be able to get that save point back. And perhaps there might be some way that you wouldn't need to do manual saves, that there could be some kind of automatic saving system, perhaps in the
Yeah.
future. That's all for generations to
Yeah,
come
like
to be able
Grand
to
Theft
decide.
Auto saves it for you.
Absolutely. And then for those people out there who want to live for not just hundreds of years, not just thousands of years, but perhaps millions and maybe even billions of years, if they'd like, at any point, they should be granted the option if they want to just stop and be able to end it all, or come back with their memories erased, and or just not come back at all. I want to give people rights. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I think it's a
And for
really
these,
go ahead.
yeah, and for these poor souls that are born in the wrong body, the gender dysphoria,
Yeah. So
they have the ability to have very effective, non-invasive surgery. Just get it done very quickly.
that's absolutely correct. And so for those of you out there who are LGBTQ plus, I consider myself to be plus. Whatever that is, we don't really know what that is, but that means that I may want to experiment in the future to be whatever I want to be. If I live 10 million years as a man, I might one day want to live as a woman. If I spend 10 million years as a human, I might want to be a different type of species someday. I don't want to limit myself to anything. So, in addition to being an LGBT plus LGBTQ plus ally, and perhaps consider my own self non-binary, or wanting to perhaps, if I want to be a woman in the future, maybe not in this lifetime, but maybe in a future lifetime, or perhaps in this lifetime if I continue to live for a very long time.
With your brain for a day.
Pardon me?
A tree frog with your brain.
That's exactly right. And who knows what scientists will be able to perhaps develop in the future and what kinds of technology. So these are some of the topics that I discuss on my stream. I've been doing this now for more than 4 years from more than 20 different YouTube streams. For anyone out there who wants to view my YouTube streams, who finds this really interesting, you can find me on YouTube 24 hours a day by typing my name. I'm Rabbi Rothschild into YouTube, and make sure you filter by live because I have so much content. It's an absolute sea of 12-hour videos that I basically have. You want to filter by live, and you'll be able to watch my life in 360 degrees.
Okay.
Additionally,
this is how I'll find, and I'll find this video there.
Yeah, I'll also send you a link so that you don't have to.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So that you don't have to delve through all of those. But additionally, for your audience who wants to find out more about what I do, go to my Linktree, linktree.com/Rabbi Rothschild, just like my name, just like who I am. And you'll be able to find more social media of any individual than you've ever found. I have blogs there. I have tens of thousands of different accounts on TikTok and Kick and Blue Sky and Pinterest and certainly Snapchat and of course YouTube and Instagram and Twitch. I have more social media than anybody would ever want.
Facebook, everything.
Absolutely, it's all there. Linktree.com.
Oh yeah, we connected through X, didn't we?
We did connect through X. Yeah, so X is a great place to be able to find me as well. All my links are in my link tree, so just go there, linktree.com/Rabbi Rothschild. If you want to join my Discord, I'm live in Discord 24 hours a day. And so the best link, you can find that in my link tree as well, linktree.com/Rabbi Rothschild. You can also find it at discord.me/Rabbi. And that will give you a link directly to my Discord. We have thousands of people who are members there. It's free. Everything I talk about is free. There's no charge for any of this. If you want to connect with me and you want to talk about futurology, I'm here for you. If you want to connect with me and you want to talk about Judaism, I'm here to talk about it. If you want to connect with me and talk about Kabbalah, I'm here to talk about it with you. If you want to connect with me and talk about history or science, or you're just having a relationship issue and you want someone with whom to speak, I'm here for you. I'm here to support not just my community, but anybody else who hears my voice who wants help. I'm here to be a helper in this world. I'm here to be a teacher in this world. I'm here to be a leader in this world.
Okay, can I ask? I'll get one plug in for your audience. This is for my own benefit. I'm 1% majority on Substack. That's £50 a year. You get all my essays that I'll write every year. So that's that out of the way. Now, can I ask you, what do you think Madonna's attraction to the Kabbalah was?
Absolutely. So this is something that came about in the late 90s or so, along with some other celebrities, including Britney Spears and others. Um, and it was based out of the Kabbalah Center in Beverly Hills on Robinson. Basically, there is a movement in major cities around the world for people of all backgrounds, not just of the Jewish faith, but all backgrounds to be able to study Jewish mysticism. And Madonna, I believe, had basically taken the invitation, perhaps, of some of her colleagues who were interested in studying Jewish mysticism and studied at the Kabbalah Center in West Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, and was able to have, I think, it had a major impact on her. As I understand, she avoids having concerts on Friday nights, which is our Shabbat, and perhaps has worn the red string that's associated with the Kabbalah Center, and other celebrities were affected by this as
Probably
well.
cut out pork as well, I imagine.
I don't know her dietary habits specifically, but I do know that she does an excellent job doing her best to keep in shape. And I personally think that any person who wants to enlighten themselves, there are ways to do it. Don't doesn't have to be religiously or philosophically. Just stretching, meditating. Those are really great ways that you can really transform your own life. And for anyone out there who is looking to become more connected to Kabbalah, I teach a Kabbalah class every day. So I've taught over 100 of them consecutively. They're available on my different YouTube streams. And they're all at least an hour, sometimes multiple hours a day. And we cover everything from ancient Kabbalah to medieval Kabbalah. We cover modern Kabbalah. And then I also give it some other Jewish and halakhic Jewish law flavor, and some Yiddish in there, certainly some Hebrew in there. And it's a great starting place for people who don't have a huge background in Kabbalah. And I have intentions to do this for the rest of my life. I think it'd be great to have a really nice compendium of at least 1 hour of it per day of just my teaching. Sometimes we watch documentaries on Kabbalah of other teachers if I find that they are prudent, and just do our best to do as much deep dives into Jewish mysticism as possible. And really, I think in general, just my streams are about self improvement, improving yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, behaviorally. I want you and everybody else out there who hears my voice to have a better life. And if there's anything that I can do to help that or aid that, I want to be here. So, anyone who wants to connect with me, come to my Discord. I'd love to meet you. Come check out my Linktree, linktree.com/Rabbi Rothschild. You can find all my links there. It's just a really interesting project that I know I've undergone, and I'm not alone. There are other people who I've met who stream their life on YouTube. Not for as many days. I've never met anybody really even close to what I've done. But there are people out there who do have what I call not just a live stream, but a life stream where they just stream their whole life. I've streamed as far north as Santa Barbara, California, as far south as San Diego, as far west as the Pacific Ocean, as far east as the desert and mountains. I've streamed in Beverly Hills, in Los Angeles, at Disneyland, basically everywhere in Southern California. It's easiest for me to stream generally from a desktop stream because of connectivity. But when I go viral, I want to travel the world, helping people, connecting with people, improving the world in any way that I can.
Yeah, yeah. So, we can talk a bit. So, are you a religious Jew?
I am.
Okay, because there's another thing. Christopher Hitchens floated this idea that he thinks a lot of Jews maybe have the gene for atheism, because a lot of Jews tend to be unbelievers.
Oh, absolutely. There's
So,
perhaps
for example, like Woody Allen.
Most certainly.
And
Perhaps
like Larry David and stuff.
absolutely, secular Judaism is a major movement in the world. It's really at the foundation of the Zionist movement. Many of the early Zionists in the 19th century, so 1800s, were found themselves frustrated with religion and moved more in that political movement. I personally am about world peace. I want everyone to get along. So I do my best to avoid politics to the best of my ability.
Right.
I am certainly
So
someone who is a social justice activist. I want good for all individuals in the world, but certainly secular Judaism for many people, and specifically within Judaism, has been a big movement. And based on statistics, as many as about half of all people, of all Jews, have some type of non belief to some extent. Even Israel is a secular country. The majority of people there, of course, they may identify as Jewish, but do they believe every single thing that you're supposed to believe as an Orthodox Jew? Perhaps that may be in question, but I, as a rabbi, want to connect people with science and certainly religion and see that they may not be all that separate and move forward in what unites us as not just Jews, but as people in general. I look at it this way: at least the Western religion, so we're talking Judaism, Christianity, Islam, we all are Abrahamic religions. And so, really, we're all basically branches of the same Father. And perhaps the branches may have separated at different times, but we all have the same source. And then,
yeah,
even from there, the other major religions of the world, certainly Buddhism and Hinduism and Taoism and
yes. So can you
Confucianism.
see the bookshelf up there?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So that yellow one on the top shelf. Hold on. Is that angled right? Can you see that yellow one?
Yeah, I see a little yellow, yeah.
Yeah, that little yellow, that's The Portable Atheist, and that's got loads of essays in there, and compiled by Christopher Hitchens. And that's got essays from Karl Marx and things like that.
Very well.
Yeah.
And for those who are hearing this, Christopher Hitchens certainly had an amazing effect on the world. Richard Dawkins, I feel, another an evolutionary biologist, had a major impact on the world. And I don't necessarily see that these types of belief systems have to necessarily be separate. And if we were all being honest, Christopher Hitchens, the Rebbe of Chabad, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, the an Orthodox sage, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, the Chafetz Chaim, the Vilna Gaon, all the great rabbis, all the great secularists, if we sat them at one big table and we really were being honest, none of us know. We're all agnostic in our own way. No one knows anything. Now, it's a difficult thing to prove. We're just doing what we were taught to do, perhaps what our traditions are. When I teach my classes, I generally do my best at the beginning of them all to say no one knows for sure. Elu ve'elu, Elokim Chaim. But I do my best to say that this is the Mazor we live by. And Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim Chaim is something that I feel is important to be able to recognize. This is the Mazor that we live by. This is the tradition that we live by as Jews, but no one really knows.
No. No. And I just hope I get a quick agreement from you. This the most poisonous conspiracy theory of all time is the protocols of the Elders of Zion.
I would say that it is certainly a controversial subject, and I'm about uniting the world. I'm about peace, and I do my best to avoid some of these alternative thoughts. And
Okay, yeah. No, I tend to look in. This is forced upon me by the people I listen to, so I just know this stuff. I read a book called Voodoo Histories by David Aronovich, and it was just all about conspiracy theories. I mean, He nailed that one. It's a fabrication. So anyway, let's not go there. But yeah. So can I ask you what do you go to escape when you're on the TV, wanting to watch something? Do you like watching Seinfeld?
I do. I love Seinfeld. I'm a huge Seinfeld head, as the kids say. I love Seinfeld. I loved it in the '90s. I loved it in the noughts. I loved it in the teens, and I love it in the '20s.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm certain I've seen them all. I'm in the
Did you
Seinfeld
follow Larry David over to Curb?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's great, right?
100%. 100%. I'm in the Seinfeld subreddits. I love the Seinfeld memes. I see Seinfeld as I see the world through perhaps ways that show shaped my views on the world in many ways. I love Seinfeld. Um, it is near and dear to me. So I do like Seinfeld. I like stand up comedy a lot. I like comedy in general. I like comedians. I feel it's important to laugh. It's important for the world to be able to not take itself too seriously. So I very much enjoy watching stand up comedy. That's what I like to do in my free time. Additionally, I like to play games. So everything from chess and checkers and even card games. I enjoy playing. I love the social aspect of the internet, where two people on different continents can be able to connect, able to have intriguing conversations, be able to share, and just that's a really special part, I feel, of the time in which we are living. And so I am at home in my own comfort when I'm basically relaxing, able to play games or read on a subject that's interesting to me, and I have a podcast on in the background or comedy on in the background. I, that's basically something that makes me very happy. I love to learn, so I'm someone who might have multiple podcasts on at the same simultaneously, because I just feel that I'm not fulfilled with one enough, or whatever it may be. I love to learn. I love to read. I love intriguing ideas, and really, with the advent of AI, I feel that it's giving humans, maybe people who wouldn't previously have delved into writing, an opportunity to be able to express themselves. I think it's an excellent tool if used correctly. I know that I've used it myself constantly. I was an early adopter of ChatGPT in November 2022. So I started the stream in 2021. So I actually have like pre large language models about an entire year, more than an entire year of my life on camera archived. And then from there, ChatGPT launched on November 30th or so, 2022, and then I've been able to see the different changes that have happened with the world, with certainly the advent of ChatGPT, ChatGPT 1, ChatGPT 2, ChatGPT 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, and then its competitors, Claude and Gemini and Copilot, and certainly Grok and all of the others, and how it has affected our society, how it's affected certainly the internet and just people's jobs. I remember when I would first talk to people about ChatGPT, uh, they they didn't think it was that going to have that big of an effect, and then they've come back to me subsequently and been like, "Oh boy, was I wrong." This is a game changer, and it most certainly is. In the same way that the internet was a game changer, and television was a game changer, and radio was a game changer, AI is the coming technology that has already changed the world and will continue to do so.
Yeah, and to have this conversation now with no delay as well, that's progress.
It's phenomenal. I think we're on the cusp of something really interesting, especially when we get into the virtual reality and augmented reality and all of the ways that people will be able to connect with haptic suits and haptic feedback. We are just on the precipice of something really special, and I'm excited at where the world's going. There are a lot of people who are negative on the future, and if you're hearing my voice, I'm someone who's positive about it. I think that the future can be bright, and I don't have a dystopian idea of the future. Many people feel like we may be living in 1984 of George Orwell. Well, very few people know this, but there's a 1985, not written by George Orwell, but there is a 1985 which has a different take on things, and perhaps the future isn't so bleak. And for those of us who may have a positive mindset in the future, perhaps there may be some type of utopian opportunity. And I do my best to maintain positivity. I know from my own perspective, if I keep streaming, I keep the consistency every single day, meeting new people, having my community grow. It's just going to take one influencer out there, and it could be anyone who's listening right now who sees what I do, sees that I have more data archived than any person ever. Data is Earth's number one resource, according to The Economist magazine, and I could potentially make them richer than they'd ever in their wildest dreams. All they have to do is retweet something that I do, or repost something that I do, or talk to a friend of theirs that's an influencer. So if you're hearing my voice right now and you know someone who may potentially have a large influence, specifically on social media, but even in real life as well, tell them about what I do. Look into what I'm doing. Connect with me, because all I need is that catalyst, and we are going to take over the world with this project. And then it's going to be a treasure trove of all of the different things that I've created on the internet. I've treated the internet like it's my canvas, and I have more content than any person ever. It's going to be very exciting for people to be able to enjoy it. There are a lot of people out there who think that the internet is full of bots or full of AI. I'm real. I'm raw. My data is raw. And I feel that's going to be really important to people of the future. Anybody can do a short form video, perhaps AI generated. Anybody can do that. Not everybody has themselves sneezing on camera, going to the bathroom on camera, bathing, eating, crying, laughing, all of the things that a human does. And I feel this is a beautiful story to be able to tell the world. And I appreciate, Louis, the opportunity to share it with your audience.
Cool, no worries. Yeah, and some ideas need to go more viral, like the idea of effective altruism, for example.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, if more people, because if I suddenly was on a wage of 50 grand a year or something, I would definitely channel some of that to a charity, and I would research where the right charities to go for.
I'm in agreement with you. Many people ask me, so Rabbi, you say you're going to make us rich. How are you going to do it? And if I may just include, I do say data is Earth's number one resource, and my data isn't monetized right now. We're going to take all of the money that I create from all of my different streams. We're going to create a large trust, basically, not just to help everyone who's helped me along the way. You're all recorded in one way or another if you've joined my Discord or we're friends on Instagram or whatever it may be. And what we're going to do is we're going to help you, your friends, your family with that money from all of the data that I am able to monetize. Additionally, I am going to be able to monetize all of my social media, my thousands of accounts, all of the content that I have there. Moreover, I'm going to be able to be perhaps the world's biggest spokesperson, just like I am for this cryptocurrency. I'll be able to essentially wear an F1 suit with different opportunities for people to be able to sponsor me and watch me 24 hours a day. This is an opportunity unlike any previously from a marketing perspective. Nobody will say, I will wear your brand all the time like I do. Absolutely. And then another way we'll be able to do it perhaps is through cryptocurrency and other investments, because I'm the foremost spokesperson of cryptocurrency in many ways. I feel that I have a beautiful archive of the crypto journey, specifically on Twitter, but also on things like Pump Fun and or X and other places, and Telegram. I've been live streaming my life in the Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu Telegram for years. I have more than years of my life archived on X. I have years of my life archived on YouTube and Rumble and Instagram. It would take one individual more than 100 years to watch just a fraction of my streams. That's how much data we're talking about here. We're not talking gigabytes. We're not talking terabytes. We're talking petabytes. And that's a really exciting opportunity, not just for your average individual.
What's about a billion? Is that a billion bytes?
It's 1,000 terabytes.
So a million.
Well, so it is a gigabyte is or
No,
a
terabyte is 100 bytes, right?
No. It works on a 1,000 scale. So you have byte, and then from there you have kilobyte. That's 1,000 bytes. Then you have megabyte, which is 1,000 kilobytes. Then you have a gigabyte, which is 1,000 megabytes. Then you
Yeah.
have a terabyte, which is 1,000 gigabytes, and then you have a petabyte, which is a
So it's 1,000
thousand
terabytes.
terabytes. And so that
Okay.
is a huge amount of data. Now, it's more than any one individual will be able to basically absorb on their own. But that's where AI comes into place. We're going to be able to make AI over the course of my day. I can already do this. Take a 12-hour video of mine, put it into a generator, and it'll come up with the best 3 minutes of whatever I did over the course of that day. People will be able to get digests of what I do. But then for those people out there who always want to connect with someone, I'm always here. I'm always
Yeah.
available. You can connect with me. And a very cool aspect of this, especially when I travel the world, God willing, people are going to always have something to do. Imagine any of your favorite influencers out there. At a given point, they always say, "All right, bye, everyone." I don't.
Yeah.
I'm always streaming. I am the king of content. I'm king of the internet. And that's a really exciting opportunity for people, for one person to share their entire life with the world. And it's my gift to the world. I do so because I've sacrificed many aspects of my life to be able to have this project. And I feel that the world will be a better place in the future if we have the opportunity to be able to study all this data. And the role that I have in AI is incredibly important. I mentioned it previously, the continuous human data infrastructure and continuous human activity data is an exciting amount of data for AI to be able to parse, to be able to digest, to be able to learn not just about behavior, but micro behavior, micro actions. And we're just looking at this from a two-dimensional standpoint. Very soon, two dimensions will be increased to HD and then 3 dimensions, and people will be able to essentially live my life virtually if they want. And then there are other aspects that may be able to happen in the future where you're able to remove different layers of my clothing with augmented reality, perhaps layers of my skin, actually see what's going on in my brain, maybe even know the exact thoughts that I'm discussing right now. You might be able to somehow, with some kind of futuristic technology, be able to study. That is an incredible opportunity for the world. So, this is the start, I feel, of something really great. I've been doing it for 4 years, so it doesn't seem like it's just the start, but I know I am on the edge of something really great. And it's just going to take one person to check out what I do, recognize that it is just an incredible, incredible amount of data, and that this is something really special and it's going to change the world.
You want to retweet from Lady Gaga with her playing Edge of Glory.
That's absolutely right. Lady Gaga, when you see this, I have many, many songs of yours that we have on the stream. I have many videos that I've made. Every single person who is essentially a big artist is on my stream, whether it's from TikTok videos, whether it's from karaoke, whether it's from bumper music, everyone out there. So there isn't really an aspect of the human of media or just of humans in general that my stream hasn't had some type of connection. I've done my best to watch all of the major films, especially the Oscar nominees and winners going back to the 1920s. Listen to every major album, listen to every major audiobook and every major religious text. I want this to be the compilation of the world's media. This isn't and just not just media, but achievements. This isn't just the story of Rabbi Rothschild. This isn't just the story of the history of time. This is a compilation of behavior and a time capsule. It's in my opinion, in the past, we might have had like the Epic of Gilgamesh, and then, of course, we have the Bible. This is a new Bible in its own way. Now, I don't want to disparage our traditional Hebrew Bible by any means, but I really lack words. I mean, it's like a new Talmud. It's really in its own way such a huge compilation that I mean it to say it's not greater than those by any means, but in
Yeah.
terms of what it may do to from just a compendium of information and how it may affect the world, I think that it could have a similar effect. And certainly it builds upon these things. So my stream, certainly we address and study Kabbalistic texts every day. We also study the Talmud every day. We also study Hebrew Bible every single day. Those are the great texts of the world. And I don't mean to say, and I want to emphasize, my stream is lowly in comparison to those, but it's different. It encompasses all of those, which in its own way makes it unique, just like the Hebrew Bible is unique, just like the Talmud is unique, just like Kabbalistic literature is unique, and the other great books of the world and the world's religions. When I feel 1,000 years from now, people are looking at all of the creations of the world, what I've created, this timeline and this time capsule, will certainly be one of those watermarks, one of those timestamps of something really special.
Okay, and Gilgamesh was famously mentioned he was in a South Park episode, wasn't he, Gilgamesh?
Most certainly, yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Tom Holland, British historian?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a podcast recently with. Do you know Andrew Sullivan?
Yeah.
So the Dishcast, the Daily Dish.
Yes.
There's a great conversation with him and Tom Holland. They talk about the ancient. This is post St. Paul kind of era, I think. It's when it gets really interesting in the old ancient scriptures.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a great listen. It's only half an hour long.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
But no, Tom Holland is a legendary historian in Britain.
Absolutely. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, very respected.
Excellent.
Yeah. Are we about an hour?
Yes, we are. So for anyone out there, let's plug your Substack again. So if you haven't had the opportunity, please join Louis' Substack and also download his podcast. You're going to be able to get it on everything from LinkedIn to YouTube to all of the other platforms out there. And please plug anything else you'd like, and then I'll plug, and then we can.
Okay, sure. So the Substack is 1% Majority, all lowercase, all one word. Substack. That's £50 a year. You get access to all essays. If I ever deem an essay to be a public service announcement, so for example, if there was a nuclear threat or something, I'm going to post that essay for free on Facebook. I'm not going to put things I think the world needs to know urgently behind a paywall, but I will put general essays. There's a couple of short stories on there. There'll be a ton of content, and all I'm hoping is a slight stream of that to support the podcast. So any money that comes through Substack will go straight into doing anything creative like this. And I've also got some YouTube channel, which is, if you just type in 1% Majority into all the socials, it will generally link you up with all this kind of stuff. Again, I've got an easy name to find. You can Google Louis Hesse Antel, and then I'm sure you'll know there's not a lot of Louis Hesse Antels in the world, so people can find me very easily. And yeah, apart from that, I've got a YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, LinkedIn. There's a blog called The Rash and Roll Rock and Roll at WordPress.com. That's very old. There's recipes on there. And I've also written several books, which is a trilogy called The Stand-Up Chronicles. There's a book called Nimachi, a book called The Session. I'm in the middle of writing one called The Open. I want to make films. One called The Easy Way, a sitcom called Officers and Wives, a sketch show called The Long Show, and ideally a cookbook. But all of this stuff is a hobby. Now, please tell me about your what do you want to say to finish this up?
Absolutely. So for anyone who is watching this, the best place to connect with me is my Discord. You can find that link at discord.me/rabbi. Also, all my social media, linktree.com/rabbi. If you want to view all my streams, just to give the audience out there an idea of all of my streams, you type Rabbi Rothschild, my name, into YouTube and you filter by live. And when you do that, you're going to find more streams than any individual you've ever seen in your entire life. Look at, I'm going to try to pull it up here. You can see we are having this conversation live. Look at all these live streams that you are going to be able to find. You can view my life in 360 degrees. It's extremely exciting. You can even see Louis there. I mean, how meta is this? That he can see himself on the stream as we're doing this. This is just an amazing technology that we're utilizing here. And these are all live. So if you don't like one angle, we've got another angle for you. It's an incredible amount of data for people to be able to parse. So that's
scratch your back. You scratch mine. We'll subscribe to each other's YouTube channels.
oh, absolutely, yes. So no doubt with that. So again, linktree.com/Rabbi Rothschild. I am available on X there. You can find my links. I'm available. You have my YouTube streams there. I have a Spotify podcast for those of you who want to check that out. You can find. I am a writer as well. So you can find my writings at rabbirothschild.medium.com and view some of my deeper thoughts on some subjects. And with that, Louis, I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to connect with you. I will catch you offline and we can make the arrangements to be able to get this published, and just really appreciate your time and appreciate the audience's time. And really, as the old adage goes,
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Rothschild. Can I ask your first name?
My name is Michael.
Michael. Okay, thank you from Louis, from over here in sunny old Bristol to you in sunny old California.
Peace.
Wish you luck for the future. All right, thank you, Rabbi.
You
Cheers.
as well. Take care, Louis.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Did that work? I don't know. Yo, dog, did it record? I don't know. I hope so. What would you do if it didn't record? I have so many different streams. I would hope it would record on one of them. All right. So you're live streaming? I think so. Okay.
What's the magical mental thing? Alchemy.
He just
Father of Martin. And apparently he just more than 20 perhaps ways that show shaped my views on the world in many ways. I love Seinfeld. It is near and dear to me. I do like Seinfeld. I like stand-up comedy a lot. I like comedy in general. I like comedians. I feel it's important to laugh. It's important for the world to be able to not take itself too seriously. So I very much enjoy watching stand-up comedy. That's what I like to do in my free time. Additionally, we had the yeah, and they were a lot of them were wrongly accused of being affiliated with the communist. Someday, now and I would like to say, but yeah, all my stuff is live and I'm raw all the time on my footage. So okay, so please welcome. This is.
Update me when you have posted the link to your social media, period. I will then take your edits and post them on my social media, as well, period. I will also follow you on all of the social medias, as discussed, period. Please let me know if you have any questions or need any assistance, period. Thank you again for making time for me and hearing about my project, period. Push perhaps. Push perhaps. Push perhaps. Are you happy? Yeah, that is great. Shout out to Louie, dude. All right, well, we've got to finish our class. Really? Yeah.
Messianist stuff appeals to are typically people like Bolsheviks, people who convert back to Orthodox Judaism, and younger people. But most of the more established Chabad world doesn't really get down this Messiah stuff. Although I think they do still control 7-7, is the main synagogue in the Chabad world there in Brooklyn on Eastern Parkway. So the Chabad has this messianic thing going on, which is super weird. So there's this huge messianic movement, which again could be a whole class unto itself, inside of the Chabad movement, where they do believe that their late leader is the Messiah. And this is causing some serious problems in the Chabad movement because it is such a movement based on outreach. Although in my experience and what I've been told by folks who've grown up in the movement is that largely the kind of people that the messianist stuff appeals to are typically people like Bolsheviks, people who convert back to Orthodox Judaism, and younger people. But most of the more established Chabad world doesn't really get down with this Messiah stuff. Although I think they do still control 7-7, which is the main synagogue in the Chabad world there in Brooklyn on Eastern Parkway. So the Chabad has this messianic thing going on, which is super weird and interesting. For the folks who are in Michigan who are hanging out with me in this class, you probably have never heard about this or heard about it only briefly, because the Shinto family, which is the larger Chabad family here in Michigan, is a very old Chabad family. They were sent here as shluchim, as emissaries by the Rabbi way back in the 70s or 80s, something like that. But they were the leading force in many ways of the anti-Messianist movement. They really thought the Messianist movement was dangerous. And the Shinto family, which is very powerful here, at least in Michigan, has never been on the Messianic camp, and I don't think the Messianic camp has ever gotten a foothold in the Metro Detroit area when it comes to that stuff. That's different other places, but I don't think that the Messianic camp has ever gotten a foothold here. But go to Brooklyn, go to 770, certainly is there. All right, the last two things I guess I'll mention before we really wrap up is the rise of the Neo-Hasidic movement. As folks know, the Neo-Hasidic movement was pioneered by folks like Mark Buber, who came out of the Hasidic world but maintained a lot of, knowledge is not the right word, but wanted to sort of modernize and expand the Hasidic movement outside of the dynastic structure. And so many of the tales of the Hasidim and a lot of Hasidic spirituality became sort of exported out of the Hasidic world and then imported into the modern Orthodox world and the conservative world especially, and the Reconstructionist world most recently in the sort of the Chavurah movement of the 1970s. This is a period of Karlbach and stuff like that for folks who grew up with Karlbach, not. And so it's in that world that we have the rise of what might be called what is called the Neo-Hasidic movement. And this movement has proven to be extraordinarily popular in the Jewish world. And there are great luminaries in the Neo-Hasidic world, folks who recently passed away, like Rabbi Shlomi and Art Green.
of Alana's teachers, actually, in Hebrew College. He's probably one of the premier neo-Hasidic leader in the world right now. It's really funny at Forum that he and I got to have a few drinks together and talk about Kabbalah briefly. I feel like I had a great honor to be able to hang out with one of these Gaons of the neo-Hasidic movement. And so I got to spend some time with Art Green when I was up in Boston with Alana. So the neo-Hasidic movement is alive and well, and I think it's popular as ever. I would say that it's actually growing in popularity. And with folks like Joe Weisenberg and other kinds of folks who are really channeling sort of Hasidic ideas into music, that stuff is going to continue to be popular. The last thing I'll mention, and this is the thing I imagine some folks already know, is of course mainstream pop culture Kabbalah. The Kabbalah Center, led by Rabbi Berg, which has received a lot of criticism, but whatever, I think that it's a legit form of Kabbalah as much as anything else is, at least from an academic perspective. The Kabbalah Center is they have outfits all over the world. It's sort of franchises kind of, and they teach a very specific kind of Kabbalah that is tailored toward celebrities, basically. Another of non-celebrities that get into it is a form of sort of new age meets traditional Kabbalah. But this is made famous by folks like Madonna, and I think Britney Spears was into it for a while, which if Britney Spears has a Hebrew tattoo on the back of her neck, some kind of Kabbalistic tattoo. I don't know, whatever sense Kabbalistic tattoos make, but you go, Britney. I think she's from Mississippi, so I think we're home state people, so me and Britney go back. So people like Britney Spears and Madonna also embraced Kabbalah in a pretty profound way, and apparently I think even Madonna quit doing concerts on Friday night because of her commitment to certain kinds of Kabbalistic beliefs. I think that the material girl's from here, right? She's from Bay City. Madonna's from Bay City. So the material girl's from here. So you have Rabbi Madonna, who has gone on to become influenced very heavily by Kabbalah at some level in her spirituality, although I don't think she's ever converted to Judaism. And there are many other people who've been influenced by the Kabbalah Center. Now, the Kabbalah Center is very polarizing. It's very controversial. I think they've got some trouble with money stuff, unsurprisingly. A religious organization get involved with celebrities and get in trouble for money stuff. Could you believe that? So the Kabbalah, in many ways, in the 1990s and 2000s, really on pop culture, with a lot of pop culture folks, musicians and other folks becoming really influenced by Kabbalistic ideas, and those ideas becoming very mainstream, right? Very mainstream. Folks, Kabbalah Chai. It's gonna live. Kabbalah is gonna survive us all. It's back. The Kabbalah had gone through a couple thousand years or 1,000 years now of turns and twists and messiahs and dead messiahs, apostate messiahs, a mountain of books and commentaries. It's really gone through, I think, almost every kind of travail a religion can go through, a philosophy can go through. No philosophy that I can think of has gone through this much. Platonism or communism or whatever. Kabbalah has gone through so much, and it's had to transform and adapt itself. And when I think about the Kabbalah, is that I'm very happy and very glad to be alive now, because we're now living in, at some level, the golden age of Kabbalistic literature. More Kabbalistic literature is available to me than anyone else in history when it comes to accessible information. More Kabbalistic teachers are available. Secular Kabbalistic education is available. A class like this is a completely secular academic class on Kabbalah. Also, you can go to dozens of teachers of Kabbalah to become a Kabbalist. And Kabbalah is accessible to people it was never accessible before. Women, LGBTQ folks. It's accessible in a way that it never was before. And so I say that Kabbalah Chai, Kabbalah lives, and Kabbalah will live, because we're living in an age where the Kabbalah has finally been able to, at some level, withhold its secrets. You have to work hard to become a Kabbalist. You have to learn Hebrew, learn Aramaic, you have to move to Israel, you have to move to Brooklyn. You have to do a lot of heavy lifting if you really want to get into Kabbalah. But you can. It's there. So much of it's on the internet. Right? So much of it, you can be an interlibrary alone. You can go buy books right there on Amazon and learn secrets of the Kabbalah that would have been utterly inaccessible to 99% of the Jewish population most of history. And there they are, immediately available. Even English translations of things like the Zohar, with the Pritzker edition of the Zohar, massive 12-volume Pritzker edition, There was no standard English translation of the Zohar prior to that. Not really. And now, for the first time in history, we have access to all 12 volumes of the Zohar, and new things are coming out every day. So we're living in a golden age for the study of Kabbalah, and we're living in a golden age for those who want to be Kabbalists. And I have to say that I'm really happy, and I feel really blessed, and I feel really grateful that all of you have decided to come along with me on this 14-week journey through the history of Kabbalah, because I feel very lucky that I have the privilege and the honor to be able to learn about Kabbalah and share what little I know, and to know that there are people interested in learning about Kabbalah and learning what little I know. And so I just want to thank all of you who hung out with me over the course of the past 14 weeks to learn some Kabbalah together, and to learn about Kabbalah and learn that this tradition is beautiful and strange and science fiction-y. It's just all over the place, weird and wonderful. And so I just want to express my deep gratitude for everyone who's dropped in for a class or stayed for all 14 or whatever. I'm just really grateful and really blessed, and feel really thankful for everyone who's had the time, who's taken the time to learn some Kabbalah with me, and given me the opportunity to learn more about Kabbalah in the preparation of this class. So that's it. Thank you. It's really an honor and a privilege to be able to have done this class, and I look forward to learning with all of you soon, whether Kabbalah or not. I'd love to do a Zohar class. It's like my secret desire to do is to do a big Zohar class, both study Zohar and also study about Zohar. Where we'd have I imagine kind of a class that would be structured like a science class, where you have the lecture in the lab. The lecture would be like this, but then we'd have a lab. The lab would be like studying the Zohar, studying it. So I imagine that's my dream gig. It's a lecture lab class, and it'd be a Zohar lab, which I have to say is a little more exciting to me than working in a chemistry lab. So maybe Zohar lab. So anyway, folks, that's be up to the community and up to y'all. Maybe we can do that at some point. But I guess again, I'll just end with saying thank you, and I'm so happy that folks will come along with me on this journey. And it doesn't end here. I will definitely say that. Like I said, we're not ending with the end of Kabbalah. We're ending with ... because Kabbalah is going to outlive us all. Welcome back.
Yo, thanks, dog. Well, we're going to continue with this stream.
Okay, now I want to end up with small private colleges. What is going on at your dime? That's what's going on. I want to share that story. First, let's check in with Amy.
Here's the latest. A blockade at the Strait of Hormuz has begun. The U.S. military says it will be blocking all of Iran's port and coastal areas, but is allowing ships to pass through the waterway if they're traveling between non-Iranian ports. Federal judge in Florida has dismissed President Trump's $10 billion defamation suit against the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch. And Britney Spears has reportedly checked herself into those stories and more coming up at the top of the hour. We'll check and see what's slowing you down. 11:05 here next.
You are a business person like I am. Let me ask a question. How many brokers does it take to insure your business? You know, the answer generally is too many. Because you've got multiple policies, obligations. You really don't create insurance at all. You actually know this. And when something comes up, getting a straight answer, that's not so easy to insure. So this is where Super Sure comes in. Super Sure gives you one broker for all your business insurance, backed up by a team that's year-round. Don't be left guessing when it matters most. The fellow who started
For joining me as I explore the garden that is Jewish mysticism and Kabbalah. Again, if you'd like to support my work of providing accessible, free, and scholarly content on topics like Kabbalah, alchemy, and the occult, occult, magic, hermetic philosophy, consider supporting my work on Patreon or perhaps with a one-time donation. You can find those links below. Until next time, I'm Dr. Justin Sledge, and thank you for watching Esoterica, where we explore the arcane in history, philosophy, and religion.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center, Odoo, the only business software you need. Partly cloudy with a chance of showers, highs in the 60s, mainly good things for the Antelope Valley. This report brought to you by Toro University Worldwide. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. We've got a crash in West LA on the 405.
It's southbound side before Sunset Boulevard. A crash just cleared slow from Burbank Boulevard. And that drive on the 405 south from Mission Hills down to
The mystical experience is one of profound paradox. It occurs within the profound depths of interiority, and yet it often has totally life-altering effects. It seems to impart a sense of eternal truth, though what it means is often
southbound 605 starts slow all the way back from about Rose Hills Road. Stays heavy all the way down to this Rabbi freeway. And if you're heading Riverside, crash there northbound to Blaine, that drive 250 north from Paris up to Riverside interchange, just a little over 4 or 5 minutes. With Southern California's most active traffic reports, a little culture. Got something to say? Well, just have the Red Talk back like on the free iHeartRadio app. Requests, contests, or just to say hi. Get your voice on the air fast. The iHeartRadio app and try now.
Basketball court all day. Because the players go dribbling around.
The dad joke, corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share fun with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
I need to have an offer for calling my daughter in the day.
On July 24th, 2016, 23-year-old Katie Sawyer vanished from her small Oregon town. But the story of who killed her and how takes wild twists and turns. Second woman. A dramatic carjacking. A high
small colleges. One of the reasons for you know that Harvard has endowment of, I think, $50 billion. I mean, they almost make more money on their endowment than they do with tuition. Small colleges don't have that. State colleges, for the most part, don't have that. So we're seeing something disappearing from America. These small, picturesque, little arts colleges that have 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 students, which are wonderful. It's what I want to do in school, but it turned out that I didn't. So I went to wow. So, what a way to end the show. What a way to end the show. Yeah. Well, here's the difference. At one point, these colleges were well endowed. And now, not so much. But thank you for that. You know, every once in a while, you come up with stuff that I wish I had said. And it drives me completely crazy. It really does. So, you know, why don't you take a few minutes off? A few months. Yeah, a few months. Matter of fact, I think you're filling in for me next Monday, right? Yep. Okay. All right, guys. We are done. Terry and Shan up next. And tomorrow morning on Taco Tuesday, we start again. We can call from 5 to 6 a.m. Real 80. And then Neil and I are here until 9. And Coco and are always here. So, work as well as it is. That sounds sensible. Sort of. All right. Take care, everybody. Tomorrow morning, KFI, AM 640, or stimulating. KFI, KOST HD2, Los Angeles, 4 or stimulating talk.
Strike still possible. I'm Amy K5 from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The LA School District has reached tentative agreements with 2 of the 3 unions threatening to strike. The deal with the teachers union would boost starting teacher salaries to $77,000, allows for flexible work days and smaller class sizes. A deal with administrators was announced last night. Both deals include 11.65% salary increases over the next 2 years. Negotiations with the third union continue, with the strike moving tomorrow. A joint solidarity agreement means that the third union can come to an agreement before the deadline. A strike would still happen that would shut down campuses in the nation's second largest public school district. The district's Board of Education is having a special closed door session at 10 this morning. And officials are warning parents to be prepared in case there is a strike. News brought to you by Corsic Motor Centers. A blockade of the Strait of Hormuz has begun. The U.S. military is said to be blocking all of Iran's ports in coastal areas, but is allowing ships to pass through the waterway if they travel between non-Iranian ports. Foreign policy expert Trina Parsi from the Quincy Institute questions what Trump's latest move against Iran would do to the economy.
By India, by China, by other countries whose relationship with the United States are crucial. Trump will be going up against those countries.
Parsi says if Trump pursues this, it increases the likelihood that the Houthis will close off the Red Sea. That means another 12% of oil that will go to the market, and that oil prices would shoot to $200 a barrel. Local gas prices are holding steady as negotiators fish the region steel and local grain over the weekend. The average price right now on a regular gas in LA County is holding at $5.90 in Orange County, $5.56 in San Bernardino. The average is $4.13 a gallon. The race to be California's next governor is over for Eric Swalwell following allegations of sexual assault.
Congressman from Northern California is facing real threats of lawsuits and criminal charges, and now he says that he's suspending his campaign to be California's next governor. Money had dried up, endorsements had dried up. There's no future for him. The future governor of
federal judge in Florida has dismissed President Trump's $10 million defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch. The lawsuit filed in July was over a story on Trump's ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The judge wrote in the order that Trump had failed to make the argument that the articles published with the intent to be malicious, but gave the president a chance to file an amendment. Now, some supporters back to the riverfront in Budapest, Hungary, as Peter Monfort celebrated his victory over Viktor Orban, ending Orban's 16 years in power. Monfart's Syriza party also won a two-thirds majority in parliament. Vice President J.D. Vance had urged voters to keep Orban from office from the leader, allied with President Trump and Russia's President Putin, conceded defeat yesterday. And Britney Spears has reportedly checked herself into rehab following her DUI arrest in Ventura County last month. It's unclear when she checked in, but her last post to Instagram Saturday night was a racing video of her dancing in a sheer bodysuit. Spears was arrested March 4th on suspicion of driving under the influence of a combination of alcohol and drugs. Southland weather for KFI, mix of sun and clouds today. Also see some showers off and on, but rain falling in Orange County this morning. Highs in the 60s for most areas, 50s in the Antelope Valley. Clearing off tonight, lows in the 40s and 50s, then back to sunny skies tomorrow, highs in the 60s for the coast, low 70s for Metro LA and the NOC, 60s and 70s for valleys and IE, low 60s in the hot desert. It's 58 in Fullerton, 59 San Clemente, 59 in Santa Monica, and 55 in Pasadena. The KFI Market Report brought to you by SuperSure, supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow is trading off 247 points. The Nasdaq is up 36. The S&P 500 is down 2. We've got a crash in Riverside on the 215.
Center lane is blocked with this crash. It's parked semi. Fire crews there on the scene as well. It's Indiana record Rachel 55 southbound at Division. Often on the brakes back from Chapman Avenue. Another crash in South LA 110 County northbound at 51st Street. That blocks the other lane. Traffic will be slow. Back from Manchester on that stretch of roadway. Cars are to count 5 and the 55 when they come together. They're just going south. Something slow. Because that crash in Manchester that block is absolutely slow. 22 pretty much all the way down to 55. Plus we had running south of the Orange County area, executive east, but still some bad roadways there. The Southern California's most active traffic reports like the Colts Run. 2%. Lots of number of people who take the stairs. Total has been after Easter. Twice a week on my podcast, 2%. I think the practical advice is a little more polite. Don't ask for things. Don't demand yourself for some hardships, and you will come out on the other side a happier, more fulfilled, healthier person. Listen to 2% on America's #1 podcast network, iHeartRadio. Your free iHeart app and search 2%. That's TFL% to start listening. Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
Well, I'm glad that Swalwell got out before the weekend was over. I was thinking, how long is this going to last?
Gary and Shannon, KYAM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
I'm not going to make a lot of friends in the woman department today, but I don't care.
I do have questions about these allegations made against the congressman.
I mean, he's clearly, I heard him referred to on another show today as a sex pig. And it was kind of an offhanded remark, like, well, I guess he's been a sex pig for a long time. And I thought, great term, a sex pig. Like, I'm not going to call the guy a rapist, because that's not what he is. All the stories I've heard about Eric Swalwell, but I'm not defending him in any way. But I am trying to give a message to women that you need to take accountability for yourself and your actions and the environment you put yourself in.
There's a point, though, that needs to be made about this guy and other guys. The congressman out of Texas had an affair with a staffer and then committed suicide by putting herself on fire.
Yes.
These are two guys that now are getting a lot of calls both of Republican and Democrats getting ousted from Congress because of their past behaviors. In this case specifically, though, this is a guy, Eric Swalwell, who has had this
Fuck yeah, everybody. Here we are again. Welcome, everyone. There's a live crowd out there, everybody. How you guys doing tonight? All right, how exciting. Another fun weekend down the drain.
Yep.
What is this, 14?
Something like that. 13 or 14.
13 or 14 Mondays in a row.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've been doing it, though, for like 15.
Wow.
Sucks. I'm done with Mondays. Mondays are the worst because I have a podcast I do for 3 hours. Right when
That's the problem. The fact that he has been a sex pig.
You might do.
Let me real quick, just a thing with the Iron Patriot,
Yeah.
Comedy Patriot. Can you put your hand up in your forehead like a salute? Can you reach that? God damn, you're like a bodybuilder. You're like The Rock. He can't scratch his own forehead.
I'm a steroid to be doing.
All right, well, because if he could do that, I thought that'd be like a fun way to, like, whenever he likes a set, give them the salute.
You try it
Can
again.
you do a thumbs up?
I can do this, I can do this, I can do that.
Can you do a thumbs up like I just asked? There you go. Do that. Well, only the ones you like. And you can be as harsh about it as you want.
I will. Remember picking up the marshmallows though, and then like the first couple bowls of the box would have like so much marshmallows in your bowl. Then that last bowl there was like 1 or 2 marshmallows.
Yeah, the grainy ones, they would sink to the bottom. Yeah, it was a bummer.
I like the Lucky Charms.
Your next comedian's name is Jem. Everybody, it's Jem.
GEM. Hi, my name is Jim. That's GEM. I recently was
Hi,
evicted.
meet him showing up.
Got me thinking about when I was living in England. That's where I had the longest permanent residence in 48 months. Mostly because even in England, they don't evict you from prison. I watched a lot of the Orange and Black recently, also known as the Los Angeles bus system. Yeah. I have been going up because I've been dealing with the eviction for the last 2 weeks, so I'm a little rusty at this. I mean, not rusty like if I penetrate you, I'm going to give you tetanus. Chlamydia, yes, but just because the antibiotics didn't take. So what I'm saying I want to get over is 248-952-7290 is my number if you need some medical cannabis. Please feel free to call me. 248-952-7290. 952-7290.
This guy is going to be huge.
Chlamydia, yes, but just because the antibiotics didn't take. So what I'm saying I want to get over is 248 48 months. Mostly because even in England, they don't evict you from prison. I watched a lot of the Orange and Black recently, also known as the Los Angeles bus system. Yeah. I have been going up because I've been dealing with the eviction for the last 2 weeks, so I'm a little rusty at this. I mean, not rusty like if I penetrate you, I'm going to give you tetanus. Chlamydia, yes, but just because the antibiotics didn't take. So what I'm saying I want to get over is 248-952-7290 is my number if you need some medical cannabis. Please feel free to call me. 248-952-7290. That's GEM. Thank you very much.
So you never intended to do stand-up comedy. You just faked it until you got to the phone number to call for cannabis.
I'm calling for a
Was that
West Hollywood band. Because now you have to make me fucking edit out a fucking phone number, make me do work.
Oh, poor Brian.
Is that a real phone number?
Thanks a lot, Dick.
Oh, this is turned ugly. What? So you keep standing there like you're looking confused. What did you just do? Did you attempt some jokes? You attempted some jokes. I didn't reach within a phone number for a place you actually work for.
No, that's my number.
Oh, that sounds like a cool
Your home number?
Well, I don't have a phone. I mean, I don't have a home, so I got a business, so I don't even need a home to sell some weed, so I get to play where I fucking live, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
now I'm getting it.
Okay, cool.
Jesus, so
I
yelling.
did like the movie though, super hot.
Security, come to Patriot.
It was much better than that guy that took your idea, did that super size me thing. That got Morgan Spurlock who stole your idea. It was much better than that.
That's a fun twist you put on that. But seriously, if someone calls you at that number and
they can buy some weed,
you'll sell them weed, but you're not a dispensary or
why am I not? Of
legal.
course I'm a dispensary.
You are?
Anybody that needs weed, I'll dispense it to them.
This guy really got into his stride during the back and forth portion, as opposed to the actual stand-up.
What if somebody that listens to this, because people around the world listen to this?
I will ship it anywhere in the United States. Ship it out right there. I mean, how are they going to catch me? I don't have anywhere to live, so I'm just roaming the streets, you know? They call
Do you want to be a stand-up comedian?
Huh?
I mean, all they would have to do if they didn't.
What do you mean? I'm standing up here. I'm making you laugh even. Come on. You're laughing out
I'm
there.
kind of laughing at
Why are you
what
saying
I'm
that?
thinking
Why are
about
you
what you're
saying
saying.
Why are you saying that, though, really?
I'm just saying,
You did like either one of those three jokes? I did do three jokes.
You did. Let's let the Patriot handle this.
Doug, a little backstory on this guy. He went to jail for 2 years for selling Molly over in Europe.
35 months, actually.
See, I thought there was some truth to that story, and that's why the first thing I asked you is what the fuck would just happen? Like, because I don't know what's real and what isn't. And you guys have seen him before?
Yes.
Yeah. Fifth time.
I don't know if it's many times. I think it's been twice.
Fifth.
Three or four.
What?
Fifth
He
time.
says 5 times, Tony.
Jesus Christ, Jen, we got to take a break with you, buddy. I didn't know that was happening. I don't think anybody's ever gotten on
Oh, it can't be the same person week after week after week.
And you don't use this
I've been
show as a
skipping weeks.
commercial.
I've been skipping weeks, though.
You don't use this show as a commercial, man. You don't give your phone number out because I have to edit it out.
Yeah, real
I
bummer.
mean, there's like responsibilities.
Or
that I have
because
to
he
take.
might leave it in. You'll get some fucked up calls if he leaves it in.
Oh yeah, half of me wants to just
Leave it in.
his phone number.
He's saying leave it in because he knows it might be somebody who wants to buy some.
Yeah, I got some weed.
But it doesn't sound terribly legit. It doesn't sound.
You know what I'm saying? I got some weed.
Phone.
You know, if you want to buy some weed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to tell you
yeah,
this.
that's not.
I know.
That's still not legal in California.
I know. Whatever.
Doing it that way, you got to start a dispensary.
Thanks for wasting my time.
There goes everybody, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Selling pot, obviously. Really hot stock right now to get in the pot selling market.
It just reminds me of that expression that I now think is absolutely true. They can't all be gems. It's when people say,
So
like,
true.
that's a standard line when a joke doesn't work.
Oh, I know this lovely lady. I do believe this is her first time performing here. Her name is Courtney Mollet.
Hello. So I've noticed a lot of people in this town are flakes. It's like all my friends keep telling me that they're gonna kill themselves and then they don't. So it just how am I supposed to trust them after that? You know? Also, I'm from like a really, really small town where pretty much everyone is related. So it just makes me wonder, like, is it still incest if it's your 6th cousin in a row? I guess after like the 4th and 5th, you you just kind of stop counting. Okay. Also, my boyfriend just dumped me while I was in the shower, I think to avoid an argument. So I got out anyways. I was like, I've had it up to